Our first reading today is very challenging. We hear St. Paul condemning the behavior of the Corinthians who were engaged in incest, a man cohabiting with his father's wife. This type of marriage or relationship was very scandalous in the Jewish society, and it's also scandalous even in our society today. When St. Paul heard about this, he would not cover up a public scandal in the church. He exposed the scandal. In our world today, there are many cover-ups for scandals. In our society, there are some people whom we know living a scandalous life, and we have covered up for them. In our friendships or among our relatives, there are some unlawful relationships going on, and we have decided to cover up because we have some interest, or because we have just decided to remain silent because it doesn't concern us. St. Paul tells us that we should get rid of the old yeast, lest it infects the whole batch. Getting rid of the old yeast is the last stage where a compromise is felt. The first step is to go back to the instruction given in the first reading of yesterday from the book of Ezekiel, and the instruction reads, "If you do not speak to warn the wicked to turn from their ways, the wicked shall die in their iniquity, but their blood I will require at your hand." That was the Lord's instruction. So the first step is to warn, not to cover up. Whenever, dear brothers and sisters, whenever we choose to go this way, we should be bold enough and have concrete evidence, because we may create wounds that will never heal. In our gospel today, Jesus heals a man with a withered hand on a Sabbath. And the Pharisees and the scribes are angry because Jesus has done it on a Sabbath day. Jesus is moved with compassion to perform this miracle. But the Pharisees are moved with anger to oppose this miracle. Perhaps the question we should ask ourselves is, if human misery is not going to move our hearts, what then is going to move our hearts? If the daily cry of an ordinary citizen is not going to move our hearts, what then is going to move our hearts?